Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, the producer. Tonight, the title is Processing, and my thought on that is that everyone has their limits. And as we approach them, various symptoms can pop up as a result of the system going beyond its usual capabilities. As a practice, remember to breathe, listen, and come back to center. It just helps everything pass much quicker. So that being said, for anyone and everyone out there joining us, be sure to say something in the chat so I know you're here. The first time there's no charge for readings, but going forward after that, it's $10 per time, or you can cover the entire month for $100. So that's a great deal since we run 3 shows per week, normally Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Arizona time. Now, thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. Here's Christopher.
Happy Monday night. Great evening. Great blessings to you. And I wanted to light the incense on your journey. Literal for Abby and Marilyn, who are on their way up to Massachusetts for a special dog rescue, but also for your journey into these hidden realms, these realms that aren't apparent. That's the whole point of the show tonight. Well, really every night, is to help you with the perception of these hidden realms, and for you to have the discernment to perceive and to trust that perception. So, great blessings to you, good incense for you, great juju being sent your way. We have Marilyn, Abby, Marilyn, and Laura tonight. Smaller night, which is great. It works out just fine. But I wanted to talk a little bit about this processing. When you start on this journey of self-realization and you get these ahas, there's, I'll first of all read the thus far scientific discoveries around perception and increasing your perception, increasing your brain activity. So when the brain is actively processing information, the body might exhibit symptoms like increased alertness, focused attention, slight muscle tension, dilated pupils, rapid eye movements, changes in breathing rate, thus Kenan's introduction about focus on your breathing, and sometimes even a temporary decrease in body temperature. But it also can symptom with confusion, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, frustration, and slowed reaction time can occur. So, I'll tell you a couple stories. One of them, I'm going to start with Marilyn Pitts. I hope you don't mind me sharing this, Marilyn. This is what you texted me after the show yesterday. But Marilyn wrote right before the show started yesterday, I decided I was going to hold some crystals to see if it helps my connection. First time I ever tried to do that. So I held a Herkimer diamond in each hand. While you were talking, I totally zoned out and I was gone, like totally gone for several minutes. You just started to go over my first card when I was totally out there until you drew the Eagle card and I was suddenly back. I have no idea where I went for those 5 minutes, but I felt like I was jerked back into my body. I don't remember anything, I'm just blank, but I had a Herkimer diamond in each hand and they were much, much warmer than ever before. I just read up on some of the eagles that you talked about, flying high and being closer to source. So again, we've talked about source being how you want to term it, God, your higher self, that type of thing. Something connected there, but I just thought it was interesting and I wanted to tell you. So that is a perfect example of processing. And we all process information differently. So what I'm telling you is not the gospel truth. It can be very different for you, or it can be a combination of things for you. I did some major work yesterday on myself with help of someone, and today I was in that kind of zoned out space, trouble concentrating. In fact, I was like, I don't even know if I'm able to do the show. So there's a blessing for this when we're processing, because what it does is it's helping you perceive or to increase your perception of these hidden realms. So that's the group card tonight, is the seer card. And that's really the goal of this show, is to help uncover your seership, your ability to see things that are not necessarily in the physical. But it's also really about seeing the truth. And psychic perception, okay, or let's call it intuition, and the capacity to know something without prior exposure to something. It's like just really literally trusting your gut. So I'll tell you a story of a woman who she did some intense work. Well, she started this journey about 30 years ago, but she remembers attending a seminar for 2 or 3 days, and she was staying in a town that her brother lived in, so he said that she could sleep at his place. So she finished the seminar, got back to his place, and just fell asleep on the couch. 18 hours later, she woke up. She was surrounded by beer cans and pizza boxes. She's like, wait a minute, where am I? What's going on? And her brother says, oh my God, I was just going to call the ambulance or something because we couldn't wake you up. And we had a great big party last night. There must have been about 30 people here, and you slept on that couch, didn't hear a thing, didn't wake up once. So that is another example of processing. And when you're developing these seership skills, go with the flow. Understand that anything can and does happen with this seership ability. So this seership invites you to trust your intuition and follow it. Now, here's the caveat. Sometimes this gut feeling, this intuition, this seership seemingly takes you in circles. Or even it feels like you're kind of going through a maze, like, what is going on here? I can't, what? And it even questions you trusting your gut. But here's the thing. The hidden realms don't know or don't follow the rules of a two-dimensional map. So continue to trust your gut, even though you feel like you're sometimes going through a maze or you're going in circles. It clears. There's something working here that is beyond a linear thinking or beyond a linear 1 + 1 = 2. Okay? Because it's much greater than that. And it also, this card is about, if you're willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate wishful thinking. Because wishful thinking creates denial. And so this is about getting out of and actually actualizing, really actualizing what it is that you want without the wishful thinking. And telling yourself the truth about any given situation. The truth may hurt as it comes up, so that's where sometimes people can get angry. So I've given readings to people, they got angry, And then I never heard from them again for years. So it takes sometimes a day to process, a year to process, a month, a week, years to process when you're around this new energy. But this is the moment, this card for all of us here tonight is the moment of true power. Okay. So we've got a really, really nice small group tonight, which is great. And so I'm going to spend a little bit extra time with all of you. So we've got Marilyn, and then Abby and Marilyn and Laura. 4, right? Anybody on Facebook? Laura's on Facebook.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. So because there's a smaller group tonight, if you can, any questions you have, just type them in the chat, okay? Or any observations or any experiences that you might have. All right, my dear Marilyn. So we talked about when you trust your intuition, when you're moving to these higher realms, the path to clarity or to understanding, sometimes sorry. Oh, and Teresa's listening, so she just texted me. So my point is that the brain, let's say you're driving a car, and then your brain is sitting next to you, and it's going, let me drive. Come on, let me drive. I want to drive, Marilyn, let me drive. And your tuition is like, driving. But the brain's going, no. This is not working out. No. I'm the brain here. I know where to go. This is you trusting your gut. Because the gut is non-linear. But we in this society are trained to trust the brain.
She says she's been having dreams.
Reviving Larry last summer. It's bothering you the last few days. Okay, so what if it's not reviving Larry, Marilyn? What if it's reviving you? What if you're being revived? This is the brain wanting to pull you back. It's a little bit like agoraphobia, where people are afraid to leave their house. The brain's like, oh God, don't open that front door. No. But your intuition is telling you to move forward. Okay. Honest, truly, Marilyn, these are your gifts being revived. Okay. This is, it's you being revived. Okay. And so, yeah, the left brain, the brain is going to bother you. But there's something major with this. Just being okay with trusting your gut and understanding that it isn't linear. Okay, this growth feels like sometimes it's taking you in circles, like taking you back to a year ago. It's not. It feels like sometimes a maze and you can't figure it out. Keep trusting your gut. Let the gut keep driving. And then pay no attention to the backseat driver. the brain. Does that make sense? That's exactly what's happening. When I went to San Antonio, when I was with Laura and the group there, it's an extraordinary group of people. Like it is really an extraordinary group of people, very, very gifted, and their gifts are emerging as well. But those things that, Teresa said to me were really out of my comfort zone. So that's the case with this. So then Marilyn Pitts, this is the Hermit card. Retreat! And just allow that intuition to grow. This is like withdrawing from the brain. This is like, have you ever invited somebody to dinner and then they just don't go home? I'm laughing because this is so you, Marilyn. It was so you. It's like, hey, we're in bed by 9 o'clock and it's 8:45. You go now. You go now. That's the brain, and this is this is getting you back into that hermit thing, okay? And I'm talking to Abby and Marilyn and Laura and Teresa too. This is so good for all of us. I love this group. It's a small group tonight, and so we're going for it. We are absolutely going for it to help all of you perceive even deeper these hidden realms. Last night's theme was little holes, big caves. This is these little things that are opening up to really look at what's underneath. Okay. All right, my dear Abby. I'm always and forever free of the need to make it fair for others. I'm always and forever free of the need to make it fair for others. It's okay to make it fair for others, but when there's a need to make it fair for others, a person can X out their own needs. So this is the equanimity card. Like, what is good for you? Remember, what's true in the microcosm is true in the macrocosm. When you start working and doing what is good for you, then there's a balance there that brings into the universe. So now I'm jumping to Teresa with this card too. So hold on, there's something for Teresa here too. Look at the balance that you have created. And look at your ability to balance. Like, you can spend years being a tightrope walker, and then immediately you get into the performance of it, during the circus, and you just go right into it. This is the training you've done all these years, to trust that training, where when the circumstances come up, when the tightrope appears, boom, you're on it, and you're balancing. And look at what brings you balance, where you're able to spend time with your kids. You're able to really enjoy them. That is something you will never, ever, ever regret. Kennan's mom and I cleaned houses so that we could actually take him with us We just so that we'd be able to spend more time, right? Be able to raise him ourselves rather than a babysitter. So that's one of these blessings that really look at the balance, because the balance is going to, when they get older, when they get out of the house, the balance is going to change for you. But that's with you, Abby. For you, Abby, it's stepping up and looking at what is fair for you. Okay. And Abby, this is the time-space card. This card it's letting go of old patterns. To bring in the new patterns. So this is through your vision, you alter the future now. You don't visualize the future 2 years down the road, 5 years down the road. You bring that now into your field. Or the feeling. Let's say the feeling of having something or doing something 2 or 3, 5 years down the road. Bring the feeling of accomplishing that into you now. You're into a way better understanding of who you are and where you're going. And I'm not talking about Massachusetts, where you're heading tonight, right? Or on this journey. I'm talking about where you're at, and look at how far you've come. So again, this is very similar to the Seer card, which was the group card. So again, I'm going to go back to Marilyn Pitt's card about when you're driving, trusting your gut, allowing the gut to guide your life more so than the brain. It's not that the brain isn't useful, but this is more letting that brain be in the back seat and leave the coulda, woulda, shouldas. All right, Marilyn, here we go. Teresa's here.
She is.
Teresa Lopez is in the house. Okay, so we have Teresa and Teresa.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. I think, yeah, we have Teresa and Teresa. That's great. We have 2 Teresas.
Okay.
All right. So, Marilyn. This is the Lover's card. And this is in the next few days, in the next few weeks. Your parents are coming through here, Marilyn. And it's not, I don't know how to describe this, but it's like, it's more of what they taught you about love, that you're going to be getting major. So this card is a little like an example of what we were talking about last night, where there's this little hole and then it opens up into a big cavern. This is your ability to see below what this card is even opening up. It's a deeper understanding of love and what your parents taught you about love. And this trip is great for you and Abby, because there'll be things that you'll be getting downloads on. For instance, my father was abusive, and so then I joined a church that had a God, a father that was very abusive. And I'm not saying that that's the case with you, but I'm saying that the dynamic there between your parents, it's like your dad's, it's not really your dad coming through, but it's like your higher self. This is what your higher self is. It's like, let Marilyn know that there's some major ahas coming through around what you were taught about love. And it will open up a cavern. Just remember to do those integrations, okay, around what comes up around love. Okay, Marilyn. Curiouser and curiouser. I got the love card. So you've got the lover's card, and then you've got the love card.
Lovers love love.
Kenan said lovers love love. Lovers love love. There is there's like an expansion of your heart going on. And so I'll tell you about a client that I had that was going through divorce, and her heart really started hurting and it scared her. She went to cardiologists and specialists, and they're like, you're fine. Like, there's nothing physically wrong here. There's nothing really going on. And this is like another, I've not quite seen this before, Marilyn, but it's like another sensory organ coming on, turning on. It's not that you haven't felt with your heart before, but again, the heart has its own electrical system. It has its own brain. I may have to call you on this one in a couple of days, because I'll probably get more downloads on this, which, as you know, if any of you, well, I know you've had readings with me, but sometimes I get downloads later on. This is not something I've seen, but it's like an extrasensory perception or an extrasensory organ around the heart that is of a spiritual nature. So it's just very unusual. Yeah. Frequency change. Thank you, Teresa. Higher vibration. Coming on board. Like, I need to look at the instruction manual on this a little bit closer. But I think you have better access to the instruction manual. But just know that there's something different going on with your heart. Like, exactly, Teresa, like the spiritual heart. Yeah, exactly. There's something with that waking up. Because for you to get the Lover's card and the Love card out of a deck of 100, something major. Yeah. Spiritual heart versus the emotional heart. Teresa says, I love that. Absolutely. So it's really powerful. Okay, my dear Laura, here we go. So, Laura, Magician, the Star Wars is very very powerful, because it talks about the Force being used for dark or light. And it's not about trying to change the dark force. It's about working on the light force within you that then eliminates the darkness. Darkness is simply the absence of light. And this is about, you can spend your energy increasing your own light or trying to light the darkness, and then your energy kind of gives out. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Anywhere where you have to, where you've been taught that you need to serve others over yourself, to where then you're like physically, mentally, emotionally depleted, are you willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate that? Or there's something going on here with an override. It's like you're it's refocusing on being rather than doing, and being free of defining yourself by doing. Because you're the Magician card. So your thoughts are your wand. Your words are your wand. This is about you paying more attention to your thoughts, because they're creating a reality you can use your thoughts and words to create a better reality with your wand than what you're creating or what you've been going down the path these past few weeks. I don't know what's going on, but this is about, so the Seer card, which was the group card tonight, And it's a small group tonight, so this is a very powerful group card for all of us. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 of us on the show tonight. This seer card is looking beyond the obvious details into the hidden realms. Look and be honest about what is absolutely not serving you. Okay? Truth can hurt, as we've talked about, but this is staying in your gut rather than your head. It's the delusion of, oh, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. That's all the brain, right? It's like a woman walking down a dark alley in New York going, oh, everything's fine, everything's fine, everything's fine. I'm protected by God, I'm protected. Well, then you wouldn't be walking down a dark alley. Right? It's like this is really remembering who you are as a magician and what you're using your power for. So you've got the growth card. So this is the magician power growing. Are you creating more peace and are you creating more harmony in your life? Or is this creating more chaos in your head or around you? You know, I'm getting the Shire. I'm getting some major downtime in nature to get recentered. To your light within a community is important. It adds to the light of the community rather than going off by yourself, because within the community there's fuel. The light is brighter rather than wandering off into the darkness by yourself going, oh, I got this, I got this, I got this. Are you willing to let go of the free and be free of the need to take it on all by yourself? That's it. Okay. All right, my dear Teresa. And then my Teresa Lopez. I'm so glad you're on the show tonight. Let's see. Okay, my dear Teresa. So this is your creativity card. Arizona Teresa. And I could tell by it's Arizona. Okay. So number one, Teresa, highly recommend hydrating more. Remember how those seminars we went to, they were talking about the brain needs salt and fats and sugar, especially when you're processing. So going back into the theme of the show, which is about processing, I'm not saying, go out and eat a ton of stuff, bad stuff over a long period of time. But right now you're needing some what is Gatorade? What is the electrolytes? Highly recommend electrolytes. Hydrate more. Excuse me. Number two, look up the metaphysical term of spiral. So think about being on this spiral, and there are people on the spiral with you. When you start out, you're circling up, and then people start to drop off because they're afraid of heights, or they get off the bus. They're afraid of heights. They've gone as far as they can go. But you are continuing to spiral up. And you're becoming a better artist. Like you're becoming a better artist of your life. And so others that are intimidated by your art, because in many ways you've surpassed them, I know maybe it sounds like I'm talking in metaphors here, but Teresa, you and I have known each other, for a while now. I think you know what I'm talking about, that you're ascending. That's the most important thing. People are ascending on their own path, and whether they stay with you or not is up to them. But focus on what you're gaining and where you're going with this, like, ascension. Your body, your mind, your spiritual field is this incredible piece of art that you've been working on. And I'm going to talk to everybody tonight with this. It's like, and so you're not going to hang it on Van Buren in Phoenix, Arizona, out on the street. It's not a this needs to be hung in a very expensive loft in New York in an art house, like tens of millions of dollars. Okay? It's like moving your I think you get what I'm saying. All right, and then we got Teresa Lopez. I'm doing reading for Teresa Lopez now. Okay. I was reading for the other Teresa.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, all right. Terry, here we go. Oh, and Teresa, Terry says from San Antonio, grouse medicine is spiral. Great, okay. All right, my dear Terry. Man, this is the Empress card. This is absolutely so you've done a lot of good. You're doing a lot of good. But what I'm seeing is, did you ever see that old Disney show called The Prince and the Pauper, that movie, where there were twin brothers, but only one could be king? So one was being groomed as a king, the other was just like thrown into the ghetto. This is not comparing what you've done to being the ghetto, but it's really coming into your and acknowledging and being acknowledged and being recognized as the true prince, which is what the story was about. This is the Empress card. This is this is the discovery of you being this. You've had glimpses of it, but it's getting bigger and it's getting more. And you're ready for it. You've been preparing for this your whole life. There's something extremely feminine divine, extreme feminine divine, and just bringing it on and knowing that it's for you. Yeah, and you have the strength. You've been doing this. It's like you've been going to the spiritual gym for lifetimes. So you're up to, like, my God, like 5,000 pounds on the deadlift, girl. This lifetime, you got this. Like, you don't have to pray for strength. Don't pray for strength. You have the strength, but it's more of you've learned how to access the strength, and it's become just kind of a second nature. Like, people don't have to teach you anymore how to drink water. You just drink water, right? You know how to pick up a glass and drink it. It just is like second nature to you, where you need I don't know, you need something moved. Boom, the angels that work out at Gold Gym show up and they move it for you. You want the angels from, the angels from Gold's Gym. Oh my God, that is such a great picture. They just show up for you and they'll move it. No big deal. Okay, my Brenda, great to have you on the show. All right. So this is Brenda. Free of focusing on loss, on time that has passed, on people that have moved out of your life, and this is absolutely rejoicing where you are at and where things are going. Releasing, clearing, destroying, and uncreating any of the negativity or the clinging to the past that keeps you out of the present. So this is clearing all of that for you. Okay, do we have any questions tonight? We covered everybody? What a fantastic show. Really, really amazing. I love you all. We'll do this again Wednesday night. And my blessings and love to Rosie. Thank you.